If I have choice, then why wouldn't I believe that I have choice sometimes? Why would I believe that choice is not really a matter of choice, but a matter of will? If I have the will to have choice, then if the will that I have is a choice that I choose. But if I'm a man who can't have his own will, then how would I know if I choose right whenever I choose? If choice is what is important for someone to be sober, if choice is what is important for sobriety to take hold, if choice is what's important for recovery to be what someone says is I'll do every day because that's what I choose, then if an addict who has an addiction of the worst kind, who loses everything, is on the street, is an addict who has no choice except to live on the street, they still choose to use and they still choose to get high. And that choice that they choose is the thing that lets them live the lie. That addiction is something that leaves them to be people without choice and worthless to anyone that might see. A person who has choice, even the choice to do wrong, is a person who has a will that is still strong. And an addict who is on the street with nothing to eat but still chooses to get high is no weaker than the most meek. There is no one that will look at an addict who has nothing, who barely can walk or barely can talk or barely can stand or barely can seem to be even mentally there even a little bit, and they're unclean, and say that that person has a hopeful life ahead, is a person that can live better, is a person that doesn't have to die and be dead from their addiction because they are not someone who will be able to live. People will look at a person like that and say they're a waste of life. What gives? What gives is you, the person who looks at them like that and thinks that's true. What gives is you, the person that doesn't choose to even say with words, you're a life that matters, sir, madam, you're a life that doesn't have to die, you're a life that can absorb a better type of living, a better type of giving a shit about what you do each day, because you're a life worth giving a shit about, and I give a shit about you by not saying to you, you're a worthless life. What gives? And you give a person like that a chance to believe, even somewhat that they couldn't even believe, would even see that they're a life worth giving a shit about. Hope that maybe it's true when they sleep at night and they believe out loud. They believe in their dreams. They believe in the morning when they first wake up, maybe that maybe today they can do it. Maybe today they can rule it. Maybe today they can will themselves to a better choice and live a life that's better, a life that walks, and a life that seeks a better life, because they talk to others who say, I want to not get high. I want to not be the addict who dies. Maybe that little bit will get them to walk across the street to a place that offers services that can help them to compete better with themselves, that live in a life better, so they can compete the lesser part of them away. You have to beat that part of you that wants you to get high. You have to beat that part of you that wants to lie. You have to beat that part of you that wants to continue the lie that you're okay enough to keep getting high. You can walk through some doors and you go to a desk and you can talk to a lady or a guy that may say you need some rest, or they may say, hey, what do you need? Or they may not know anything at all, and maybe they'll be like, what do you need? What can I help you with? But you have to try. If you're at a desk and they don't know a thing about what it is your lie is today, because you want to get high, but you're there for a reason, and they're like, what do you need? You got to persist. You can't give up. You got to say, can you make a call? You got to cry in front of them and say, I can't take this at all. Then even if they say you got to go somewhere else, you say, where? Please. If you're here to help me, then help me, please. You can do it at any place that offers services like that. You can do it any day. That's a fact. You don't have to give up. You don't have to believe that you're not worth the trouble, because that's not true. If you're an addict who cares about your life, then you're an addict who's not going to die. If you're an addict who doesn't care about other lives, then you're an addict who's soon not going to care about your life, and you're going to die. You're going to give up your life, and your loved ones are going to care. Your loved ones are going to cry, and your loved ones are going to stare into your grave and wonder, why the hell did you die? What did we do wrong? Why didn't we save your life? And it's a horrible way to die. It's a horrible story to tell, that you had a loved one that died and you couldn't save them, or even say, well, I tried a little bit more. I tried to give them a call. I tried to check on them, but they died. It's not your fault that they die, but you can help. If you're a loved one that has a loved one, you can call and you can tell. You can tell them, I know that you pissed me off. I know that you made me mad. I know that I don't want to talk to you. I know that you've been bad. I know that you were no one that I want to respect. And I know that I don't want you to have any influence in any decision I might get to make in my life, because you suck at living life and I ain't interested in you being in my life. But when they die, you're going to feel the pain. You're going to feel the pain of them being dead. And that's not something you want to feel in vain. You don't want to feel that ever at all. You want them to die a long time from now. And that's the call that God gives for them when they don't try. If they don't try, they'll die early. But if they try and you try too, they're going to live a longer life. And that's the truth, and that's a fact. If you believe that that's not a lie. God doesn't want addicts to die, and God doesn't want loved ones to stay apart. And one or the other or both cry, wondering if the other one is okay or not. God doesn't want that kind of shit at all to happen to the ones that love addicts, who talk to others, and who talk maybe well, maybe they don't talk well, but they talk to sell the idea that life is better, who care about themselves. If you care about others, you care about yourself too. If you care about yourself, then you're someone God needs, because God needs those addicts who don't want to bleed and don't want their other addict friends or loved ones to bleed too. He wants them to help those to live and to be the guiding lights and to be the inspiration others see, the ones who know that it can be true, they can be free. They can be free because they're not free now. They're slaves to that drug. And that's something that a loved one can do to help an addict trust that life is worth living and life is worth giving a shit, because they give a shit about them and they still love them even a little bit. And that makes a difference. And that's what's true. Friends can be that way too. Anyone can care, and anyone can say, I care, and an addict can simply just look at them blankly and not care. And then later, in a moment where they don't even know why they'd care, they hear those same words and they break down crying, and they know they care. So if you're an addict who needs help, go get it. If you're an addict who wants to die, don't die, try. If you're a person who loves an addict, keep loving them, because they need you in your life and their life too.